In the long, dry grasslands of southern Africa, the battle for rhino survival is not fought only with rifles and patrols. It is fought in hotel lobbies, casino corridors, intelligence briefings, and the quiet backrooms of political power. The story of the Focus Africa Foundation's sting operations with South African National Parks, SAN Parks, is one such tale, one that blurs the line between conservation, intelligence work, and political intrigue. By the early 2010s, rhino poaching had reached crisis levels. International syndicates, fueled by demand from Asia, had built sophisticated trafficking networks stretching from African reserves to foreign markets. South Africa, home to the majority of the world's rhinos, became the epicenter of this illicit trade. In response, SAN Parks began exploring unconventional methods, including intelligence-led sting operations. One of the organizations involved in this effort was the Focus Africa Foundation, led by private intelligence consultant Nigel Morgan. According to media reports, the foundation had a contract with SAN Parks to infiltrate and disrupt illegal horn syndicates. Rather than relying solely on anti-poaching patrols in the bush, the strategy targeted the networks behind the poachers, the brokers, middlemen, and financiers who operated in urban centers. The operations reportedly culminated in a major sting at the Emperor's Palace Casino in Gauteng. On the 22nd of May 2014, intelligence gathered through the foundation's work led to arrests linked to rhino horn trafficking. Morgan later claimed that the operation contributed to the arrest of dozens of suspects connected to poaching syndicates. To those involved, it appeared to be a breakthrough, evidence that intelligence-driven tactics could strike at the heart of organized wildlife crime. But what followed raised troubling questions. According to Morgan, the SAN Parks contract with the Focus Africa Foundation was abruptly terminated not long after the sting. He claimed the cancellation came on the heels of the arrests and shortly after a change in political leadership. On the 25th of May 2014, a new Minister of State Security took office. Within weeks, the foundation's contract was gone. Morgan suggested there was more than coincidence at play. In media interviews, he alleged that elements within law enforcement and political circles were uneasy with how close the sting operations were getting to powerful figures. He claimed there were political elements who feared the investigations were approaching people higher up the line. These claims gained further attention when an Al Jazeera investigative report titled The Poacher's Pipeline aired.
Like Guang Jianguang, a Chinese businessman who lives here. He runs a massage parlor and employs some illegal workers, but he gets around the rules easily.
乜嘢都講錢嘅啫，乜嘢都講錢嘅啫，係咪？每個月我俾1000幾百俾移民局，查都唔查。話俾嗰啲移民局嗰兩隻嘢。政府啊嗰邊你識人多唔多咧？政府呢邊都唔使點識人嘅，你政府部門你辦事你咩都講錢嘅啫。
We've been told he buys horn from fresh kills.
係咪買嗰啲嫌疑咧？嗰啲嘢咧，我幫你玩，但係咧你千祈唔好嗰啲客人啊咩啊過嚟，我有個犀牛貨，你太難呢樣嗰樣啊嘛。嗰邊交錢，嗰邊交貨，差館即刻過嚟㗎啦。繳咗你個貨筆就講，仲要拎你100幾廿萬嘅。早排有個黑鬼，有支咁長嘅過嚟。係前嗰隻。 開字花啦，我以前啱啱另行開字花俾人捉咗，開庭啊呢樣嗰樣，咪有案底鬧。而家清緊案底，叫人清緊。點清咧？咁就去司法局清咯。如果案底俾錢清咗啲，清咗大嗰啲。俾嗰啲利是就可以清㗎。清。哇！咁又俾幾多錢先清到咧？好平啫，幾千蚊，我可以約到，可以即係我可以玩到。就玩呢個南非國安部部長個國安部部長 David，
我屋企客人嚟嘅。
He's talking about help at the highest level, a special contact, David Mashlobo. He was a senior official in the Nelspruit area until 2014, when he became a government minister.
每個星期啊，或者一個月起碼嚟2次，我間店按摩啊咩嘅，講得好熟嘅。
Minister Mashlobo controls South Africa's intelligence services, including the State Security Agency, which analyses organised crime. Guan shows photos to prove their relationship.
呢個國安部部長，南非國安部部長，個大佬嚟㗎，係一個大佬，呢個都係。就係全部都係我哋客人咧，以前嘅前向 Nelspruit 嘅朋友咧，啲介紹你嗰個安全部部長啊，佢都冇做啲生意。佢老婆做啫，佢唔會做生意。佢老婆要有咩大嘅項目啊？佢老婆出面啦，佢就唔會出面。即係好多南非好多高官人啊嘛，老婆做生意，老公做高官，有咩就食佢關係。我老公係邊個，做官嘅咧永遠唔會做生意嘅。
We were invited to the Kruger National Park to set up an operations centre on the rhino problem when it was at its height. Our operations led to something in the order of 61 arrests and a database of 2,603 individuals profiled. We felt strongly that we need to go and disrupt the level 3s, the buyers, and get into the pipelines.
2 years ago, his intelligence team closed in on a suspected buyer, a Chinese national known as Eric. We've seen confidential police documents confirming his identity as Ma Shupeng.
He was operating out of a warehouse near OR Tambo, which is the international airport in Johannesburg. So he's a professional trader in endangered species.
Working with the police and the Kruger Park, they set up a sting operation, offering Ma a genuine rhino horn. An intelligence analyst involved in the deal described what happened.
This deal was set up to happen at Emperor's Palace Casino Complex. There's hotels, there's gaming. The agent booked 2 rooms. One room would be where they would do the deal, and a second room right next door would be where the task force would be waiting. The task team arrested both individuals in the first bedroom, and police members that were situated on the gambling floor also arrested the third individual.
So 3 people arrested, having taken possession of horn and having paid for it. It sounds like it should have been a slam dunk conviction.
Indeed, it should have been.
But the police documents show that didn't happen. One man was fined, the other 2, including Ma, walked away unpunished.
Something seriously went wrong after those Chinese were arrested because they were allowed out on bail and they disappeared. It could, of course, be a coincidence, but I think these arrests took place on the 22nd of May, and the 3rd of June we received a letter terminating us.
Their contract with the Kruger was cancelled without explanation, but Nigel Morgan suspects why.
There was concern that because we were funded by American money, we were somehow a threat to national security.
Who had said that?
It's a record in a minute. Obviously, I think it was a disgraceful decision.
The minutes are from the Parks Department, but we've pieced together a link beyond that to the Ministry of State Security. A new minister took office just a month before the contract was cancelled. He's repeatedly accused organisations which receive overseas money of undermining national security. He's the same minister, David Mashlobo, that the Level 3 Chinese trafficker considers a useful contact.
Well, we know there were elements within the police and political elements that were getting scared. That we were getting too close to some people higher up the line.
In the documentary, undercover journalists filmed the Chinese national Guan Zhangguang, who ran a massage parlor in Bombella. In the footage, Guang alleged that a senior minister was a regular visitor and hinted at connections between political figures and the rhino horn trade. He claimed that when major deals were underway, the minister's wife would appear in front, while the minister himself remained in the background. In one segment, Guang displayed a photograph of himself with the minister, saying he knew him well and that the minister visited frequently. The documentary also featured Nigel Morgan, who repeated his claim that political interference had affected investigations into horn smuggling and may have influenced the termination of the ASEAN Parks contract. The allegations were explosive, but they were also strongly denied. Through his spokesman, the minister described the claims as unfounded and slanderous and threatened legal action. He rejected any suggestion of links to illegal wildlife trade. Meanwhile, Morgan confirmed to local media that his organization had received financial support from international donors, including contributions linked to American financier Warren Buffett through Pathfinder Corporation, with which he was associated at the time. He reiterated that the contract termination came directly after the successful sting and the arrests of alleged rhino horn traders at Emperor's Palace. To observers, the sequence of events painted a troubling picture. A major sting operation, dozens of arrests, and then the sudden cancellation of the intelligence contract that made it possible. Whether coincidence or consequence, the timing fueled speculation that the fight against poaching was colliding with powerful interests. The story of the SANParks Focus Africa operations remains one of the more shadowy chapters in South Africa's conservation war. It suggests that the rhino horn trade is not only a criminal enterprise, but also a political one in an arena where intelligence operations, international money, and state power intersect. In the end, the rhino's greatest threat may not only be the poacher in the bush, but the unseen networks that enable him, networks that sometimes appear to have friends in very high places.